please.
इनको और कुबरा जी को बुलाते हैं।
लाइट भी नहीं है। हाँ जी। यस प्लीज सर, थोड़ा आगे, थोड़ा आगे। यस यस प्लीज, वेट वेट वेट, स्माइल। थैंक यू।
Big man there.
Yes, please.
Stylish.
Bye.
Nice one.
Yeah, please. Look here, look here, look here. Ma'am, please. कुबरा जी आपका सोलो कर दो।
Solo. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
कुबरा जी है।
Hello, Ji.
यहाँ पे देखिए।
Thank you, guys.
चलो गैस मूवी हो गया, चलो भागो।
Leading, I want to like have this full experience with everybody, and we were saying no, they need to come up and experience you. This is how we do it with authors. I was like, listen, this is like my jam. These are my loved ones, and I want to share this experience with you. Like my therapist says, listen, Ashdin, you don't celebrate enough. So today is not a launch of the book because it's clearly been out on the shelves. You've seen it everywhere. This is a celebration of this whole journey, and that's what I wanted to share with everyone. All right, so without taking up too much time on the initial part, shall we unwrap the book and the title?
Yes.
Yay! All right, Mom, Dad, come, let's unwrap our book.
Wow.
How do we do it? This is your copy. Come up on stage.
And everybody, please don't feel shy. Please put your hands together.
Coops, come.
Make some noise.
Coops, come.
Please have it.
Ready? One. Exactly like
Wow.
Thank you. Let's pose with it. That's going to give his like massive pose.
Come on, everybody.
Hang on.
Yes. Love it. Woo.
All right. Thank you. Yes. I'll do that. Wait. All right. So I thought we start off by having parents say a few things. All right. Mom, Dad, you can also say like bitch about what it's like to be with a habit coach at home. Clearly, that's a terrible thing.
You want to say first? Okay. Great. So I'm delighted to welcome all of you today. It's really wonderful to have you all. As Ashdin said, we are all a family, and readers always become family. So great. I don't know what to say, Ashdin. It is really overwhelming. This is his 4th book. I mean, I can't believe it. Big round of applause for him. Great.
Everyone's like, Ashdin, will you let us read the books now before you like keep writing them?
I was just going to say that get ready for the 5th one because it's coming soon. So, let's look at the journey that I've had a little with you, Ashdin. It has been absolutely thrilling. To begin with, when he was young, as an infant, doing the little things.
Brushing teeth came a little before this.
Right. stress goes to. But today in his book, I see that one of the first things that he's talked about is decluttering and to just have clutter out of your life completely. So which is wonderful, and I know that now Ashdin has really himself transformed and his room is completely, would you agree, Kubbra?
No, it's debatable.
Debatable.
But see, learning
it
is a
comes on
lifelong
which-
process.
Yes. So there are so many habits that he talks about in this book that it is fascinating, starting with all the small steps that you need to take. Ashdin has really been a great thinker. He's given so much of wisdom in this book to all of us. Like for instance, I can talk about one of them, which is we have this in our work situation and in our lives, resistance to change. How many people have that? Don't want to change. And Ashdin's talked about that and given you small steps to create that wonderful habit where you can become adaptive and be intelligent about your life rather than just doggedly doing things all the time, resisting change. And one of the things he's talked about, I think, is the very, very popular topic. Can anyone tell me? AI, artificial intelligence. So all of us are resisting it and we don't understand what's really going to happen with it. And so Ashdin's talked about that too in his book. And so there are so many different areas of life that he's touched upon. And the most interesting thing is that the book is so readable and simple. He does not make anything complex and convoluted. It's always very, very straight, direct, and almost sharp about his words. So I love reading his books because it reads so quickly, so fast, and so smoothly. The other thing is that Ashdin is a thinker. Ashdin is a habit. Shall I say changer or coach or think?
Doer.
Doer. Okay.
Better.
That's a transformation. So Ashdin is all that, but most of all, Ashdin is very kind, compassionate, and loving. All right? So with all the people he works with, he shares this heart-to-heart understanding of everyone. And I think that is a great quality of empathy that he shows in the work as well as in one-on-ones that he does. So I think standing here, I can go on as a mother, having a long list of all the wonderful things that Ashdin is all about. And my journey with you is truly exciting, Ashdin. And I see that he is so diligent about his work, which is itself a big transformation in him. And so all the things that he teaches in his books is something that he really practices. So I think that is a big thing. I wanted to take pictures of Ashdin doing up his room and tidying it and decluttering it and so on to bring it over here for everyone. But I think you got the sense of it. So today, if you look at Ashdin, he is a completely transformed person, and my journey with him from this to that has been really, really very, very exciting. I mean, I think that's the word I could use. Adventurous, exciting, and full of love. So as Ashdin brings light into the lives of so many people, and brings about this transformation and change and absolutely personality differences which happen during his books that are there. I feel today is a day where, Ashdin, I want to really be very proud of you. Thank you for being who you are, for standing for what you are, and bringing about this light to thousands and thousands of people.
Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you.
Love you, my darling. Thank you, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, years up.
Yippee hooray!
Hey! Yay! Cheers for Ashdin!
Dad, you want to say something?
You know, Ashdin said, come up on the stage and say something about me. But I must tell you that every time I need to talk about Ashdin, I get all choked up with pride. I think that's the only real emotion I feel when I think about Ashdin and what he has achieved, and all that he has achieved. Is my rebound voice seriously turning on kind of.
Yeah.
So I only have very few emotions about Ashdin. One primary one being entirely of pride. It's just pride, and almost disbelief about what he has become and what he has achieved. And only I as a father can say this because I have seen his journey from being to where he is now. That's phenomenal.
If I can do it, everyone can. That's what you're saying, right? That's what you're saying in a nutshell.
And you also asked to talk about what it is like living with you.
It's a pain, I know.
Okay, so unqualified pain. Okay? Unqualified. There is no day that goes past when he doesn't piss me off with giving me lectures about this is not the right way to do this is not the right way to do this, that is not the
Please refer to page 127 in the book, Dad. You have no idea.
Correct. So apart from all of that, phenomena.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yay!
Come. Sit down.
Doing that, no?
I'm doing once. Dad and Mom sit down.
One hug.
Coops, come, we'll open this one up together.
Oh, wow.
And then you need to go back, sit down, huh?
Okay. Everybody will
That's
read
one.
this.
1, 2, 3. Woohoo!
Yay! Yes.
Unwrapped.
Yes. Wow.
I've always loved ripping apart gifts. You know, you can't like peel them away.
Best way to open.
You know, they say don't judge a book by its cover. Have you heard of that one? Look at that. Please judge this one. It is the best. I love it. So this photograph was shot by my friend Zui. And I think she managed to get something so pure and such a beautiful essence from this image. So it's one of the books and the covers that I'm very, very proud of. Like I said, today is not about this book and why you need to buy it and all of that. This is a celebration. And I wanted to, like I said, with my loved ones, many of you all were there for the previous launch and now some new faces for this one. I wanted to share a little moment of, you know, as an author, you have these ups and downs and these journeys. Remember the first book that came out, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life? I was looking for it everywhere in every bookshop. Because, you know, we think author, na, matlab, I have written it now, bestseller. Right? It will be everywhere. And I looked everywhere. Every time I took a flight, I would say, you know, hey, kya? You know, like a little puppy at the glass, like, you know, where is this book? It's not there. I would walk past these walls that said bestseller, number 1, number 2, number 3, and I would be like, God, it's gonna happen. And, you know, almost a feeling of rejection, dejection. And I remember this one time I was in Delhi, we were signing books at this market, and this lady turned up and she said, Ashdin, I've come to only meet you and I want you to sign this book. And I've traveled for 2 hours to get here. right? There was another lady who came all the way from Jaipur to Delhi just to meet for those few minutes to sign. And that's when that moment really hits, saying that all the work that you do really touches people's lives in such different ways that you'll never understand, you might never meet. But you have to keep putting yourself out there because you have no idea what influence you're having on somebody. Like I keep telling all of us are somebody's inspiration. We don't know whose. We might never know, but we're always somebody's inspiration. And then last week, a friend of mine was passing through the domestic airport and he took a picture, he took a story and he posted it. And he said, Ashdin, look, one book here on the bestsellers list, one book here on the bestsellers list. Both looking at each other. And I was fully choked up and I was like, it's amazing how consistency ultimately pays off. As a habit coach, I keep talking about consistency. Consistency is, you might not see the result immediately, but the more you put your work in, it all compounds over time to something brilliant. And the reason why we came up with this book is that the title itself says a lot. Small actions, big results. Habit Coach podcast comes out, people listen, they don't do anything afterwards, they listen to the next episode. The whole idea as a habit coach was how do I make people take action on the things that they wanted to do? Because only once you take action does life change. So the whole book and the series now that we have, One Habit a Day, as well as Small Actions, Big Results, is all about the workbooks that are there as part of it. How do you take that small action into something great that's going to become? Very often we do the exact opposite. We do big actions, and what kind of results do we get? Chotu ones, right? You know what, I'm going to work on this presentation for the next 9 hours. I'm going to study for the next 9 hours, in hardcore way. And what happens exactly after 1.5 hours? Now you're tired, you're distracted, suddenly Instagram has popped up, and you've lost that time. Doesn't it happen to all of us? Right? We create these big actions that we're going to want to have, and we end up having no results. So the idea is, how do we learn that small little things that we do are going to compound over time? Weston came to me and said, Ashdin, the big problem people are having now is mobile phone addiction. How many of you are mobile phone addicts? My hand is up permanently whenever this comes up, right? So many of us are mobile phone addicts. And he said, Ashdin, you need one book on mobile phone addiction. I was like, okay. First, I need to give up my mobile phone addiction. Like Mama said, only once I do something do I talk about it. And I haven't figured this out yet. But I figured out how to be focused and productive. And I said, why don't we create a book on this? Because this currently is the burning need of the hour. Right? Exactly on cue, the mobile phone. Julie, perfect.
I think you had planned it.
I think so too. Thank you. So the whole idea was, how do we have this whole focus and productivity? Because I think that's what is needed right now. And the idea of this book is, how do we maximize our time, maximize our energy, and how do we take it to that next level? So, very, very proud to have this book. Thank you everyone for coming in. Oops, shall we get into Q&A? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about, sorry, one second. I'm clearly not a seasoned MC at this. So, what we're going to do is, Kubbs and I are going to talk. She's going to ask me a few questions. But then I want to open it up to all of us. So please think about questions. Think about things that you want to say. If you want to share anything, if I've ever, helped you in any way, please share that. That'll be fantastic. I'll feel very nice about it. So think about that. We'll have a little session open for everyone, Q&A, and we'll take it from there. Kubbs, what say you?
No, the thing is that, hi Ash, how are you doing? It's amazing. We call each other Ash, he calls me Kubbs, and it feels like we're at the most informal setting of our lives. This is literally like sitting in your living room with mom around, going around troubling dad to make coffee. Please sit down, it's your book launch. We can sit down and celebrate. I mean, I had notes prepared, but he shared a few of these points. I'll just...
I didn't. I'm
kidding. They don't even know what's coming. So ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me say and share with you that it's such an honor to be sharing this stage with Ashdin Doctor. I was literally asking him a minute ago as to how long we've known each other, and we mutually agreed to round it off to 10 years. No, you can guess. It can be any number of years. Now we've rounded off to 10. But I do remember meeting Ashdin as an individual who wanted to change his life. There was this acute need to break out of the skin that he was in and emerge into a new being. And this has been a journey of 10 years for Ashdin Doctor. And that for me is phenomenal because everybody sets out on it, on this journey. But how many of us look back and say that I'm actually celebrating, the last mile that I left behind me. And I guess this man is my best friend, but easily one of my first confidants, the most incredible source of inspiration. And you're right, Vilima, he has immense amount of kindness because you can come to him with angst, but he's with his kindness gonna tell you how you can turn that place that you're in around. And imagine when you can find that within yourself. And he speaks about, how he's seen that change in me. And I am very grateful to you, and I say that to you. So this is
Thank
just
you.
a public forum for me to share my love towards you. Congratulations, man. We've got like your second book in 2 years. Isn't this right? Fourth book in 2 years. In 2 years, no? In 2 years, no? Wow. What was it like when you started writing?
Unknown territory. So I have to tell you about how we started writing. Okay, so Coops published her first book. Do you know that Kubbra has a book?
I do. It's right there, okay? Just buy it. There's 6 copies left. Buy it. Please. Otherwise, I'll only have to buy 4. It's right here.
So Kubbra was talking about how she's writing, and it was fun seeing her, put on her chasmas and do her notes and then sit down and write. And this was during COVID, so it was all video calls that we would be doing at that point of time. And then I was like, Coops, I'm also going to start writing a book. She was like, wow, good.
Yeah.
Then after a few months, she's like, what have you done? I was like, I'm writing the book my way. How do I write a book? I first research how to write a book.
Yes.
So I spent reading 4 books on how to first write a book, make my notes, form my habits before I started doing it. Right? Clearly, I'm doing that sharpening the axe before I start.
The thing is that when you look at success, right, and you are successful, and I feel I'm at space of success, you just think everyone arrives there in the same way. And sooner you realize that everyone has access to success, but you get there in your own way, take your own route, but you will get there, stay focused. I guess that's what this is.
And take action.
Coming to it, sales pitch. Okay, tell me why 31 habits? Because that was literally the first question I asked you. Of course, it's such a gentle face.
Only 31.
Only 31. And why 31? Why not 42? Why not?
42 is actually the magic number. But what we did
42
was
is a magic number.
Douglas Adams,
Oh,
the
yeah,
answer
yeah.
to life and everything is 42. So anyway, so any Douglas Adams sounds like you'll know this. But so the previous book, One Habit a Day, I sent probably 42 habits to them.
Uh-huh.
And the editor looked at it and said, Ashdin, I think 42 habits might be a little bit much. Why don't we do 31 habits? I said, good, 1 habit a day. Yeah, 1 habit a day. And that's how the name 1 habit a day for the first book came. And then, me, I have to think, I can't think like one book. So I think series. So it has to be a series of books. So now 31 habits on the first one, 31 habits on the second one. Next series also be 31 habits. So we will
And
do
all
that.
these habits are different. So when you read book 1, when you read book 2, when you read book 3, and when you read book 4, you're actually becoming better at implementing what you already have, and then you're creating space to evolve that journey.
In different aspects of your life.
There you go. That's a good question, and that's a pretty cool answer.
Fantastic question.
Thank you.
Good job.
I have this question. In today's world, which is so fast-paced, we are all trying to do more than one thing in our life. Is that something that we commonly agree on? Yes.
Multitasking.
Yeah, great. My question is, when we think about productivity, we kind of just confuse it with being busy. So how does one make the separation, and how do you lead with understanding what productivity truly is versus just saying, I'm so busy?
You know, this word busy is something that is very, very toxic, I think. You know, I've seen organizations where this word busy just completely ruins everything. And I talk about these as organizational habits. You know, oh, I'm too busy, I don't have time. Oh, I'm too busy, I don't have time. How many of us use this word busy? Oh, I'm so busy, life is so busy. Yeah, see, so many hands are going up. We use this word busy like, you know, like sprinkling salt on food, just like, yeah. But the thing is that what are we saying when we say, oh, I'm too busy for this? We're saying that nothing else is important. And what we do is we pack up our time because we feel that busyness is productive. Busyness is equal to success. Busyness is not equal to success. You know, when I look at the most successful people, some of my clients are very, very successful people. None of them claim to be busy. Ashdin, you want 1.5 hours? No problem, 1.5 hours. I never see them running everywhere. Everything is cool and done. And I keep telling people that money is not the new definition of success. The power that you have over your time is the new definition of success. And this is what it is. You know, if all of you all want to be successful, slow down. We keep talking about productivity as speeding up, but actually the more you slow down, the faster you get things done in the end. So busyness is all about this. And what we do when we think about busyness is, I tell people very often to make a list of what their day looks like. So I say, all right, for the next 1 week, you write down all the things you did during your day. And they look at the list afterwards when we meet them the next day and say, my God, what did I waste my time on? And we all have that feeling, like I didn't need to do this, I didn't need to sit for that meeting, I didn't need to, but I couldn't say no. That's something that many people find hard. And the second thing was I didn't value myself. So what I tell people is that, you know, you have to value yourself as much as you value your most important client when it comes to this, and treat yourself in that same way. Your meetings with yourself are very, very important. So that's the way that I would deal with busyness.
There's a very interesting thing that you write in the book that speaks about time management versus energy management. No one tells us that we need to work and conserve and invest our energy in the places, I mean, you know where, what mutual funds to put your money in, you know how your money will make money when you're sleeping. No one tells you how to invest your energy. No one tells you how to invest your time. Please elaborate.
So people talk about time management.
Yes.
And many of us would have gone for some time management workshop or the other, right? What we don't realize is that it's not time management anymore. It's energy management. And the example I give is, how many of us have had that feeling where it's 4 o'clock in the, you know, like, it's not even evening, it's afternoonish, right? It's 4 o'clock and you've had your coffee. There is enough time to continue working, but where's your mind at? Chalo, I want to go home. Where's your mind at? Now I'm tired.
Save puri.
Save puri. Right? Your mind has wandered. It's no longer there. Your energy has been depleted. You still have lots of time. It's never about time management anymore. It's all about energy management. And what I talk about is learning how do we plan where we put our energy, on what things. Because our day cycle also has different times of high energy and low energy. Like, I am most creative in the morning. So for me, my highest creative time, energy is in the morning. Afternoon time is dull. So that's when I do all the dull things. You know, like if I have to work on an Excel sheet, I find Excel sheets dull. You find Excel sheets very interesting, no? So that's when I would spend time on the things that I find dull.
A question. So you say that, you know, when you have most energy, some people have energy at night.
Yes.
So those people who have energy at night and aren't able to set their sleeping cycle, how do you suggest they do?
So it's a very good question. The thing is that there are some people, right? So there are some people who have this burst of energy at night. They find themselves most creative at this point of time. They also find their home most quiet at that time, which is why they feel that, oh, I'm most creative. It's because other people are not distracting them. So what I tell them is that fantastic, use that night time for your work, no problem. But as long as you then don't try and live by everybody else's schedule. So then don't try and wake up at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and God forbid, don't try and wake up at 5 o'clock. Right? If you're working through the night, if you're working late, please still get your sleep time in and wake up a little later. That helps. So it depends on when you find your own, you know, rhythm. But it's important to find your rhythm. Many of us are living on other people's rhythms, and that's where our energy goes.
I like I understand very firmly. I have a question. You know, when I started off in this industry, which was pretty alien to me, and the city was pretty alien to me because I never lived here, I knew I was being rewarded every time I hustled hard. Every time I hustled harder than the last time. But today I'm at a different place, different age, different energy pattern and my own rhythm. And I don't feel hustle is what gives me success. What is it that you suggest that someone who's starting out new in their career do, vis-a-vis how do they realign? Some people just believe hustle till the end. Some people feel, no, I'll chill through the end. Where is the balance and how do you find it?
Lovely. Hustle culture is something that has become very, very dominant in our lives, right? Everyone's talking about hustle, hustle, hustle. Hustle is, like you said, is rewarded.
Yeah,
you know,
I wanted to name my book Hustle because I thought it was a very good word.
See?
No, not good word.
Hustling, by the word itself has a negative connotation, right? I'm hustling you, right? It has that connotation of, doing jhol, right? For lack of a better word. So the whole thing is that hustle culture, jhol culture. We don't need to do that. What we do is we see other people's success and think I need to be like them, right? We see people who are so busy and we're doing so many things and we're like, if I do so many things, I will also see that success. What we don't realize is that it took that person 15 years to get to that place where all his systems are aligned for that kind of lifestyle. He put in the work and practice and that
Or she,
muscle.
or they, or the.
They, correct. Everyone put in that practice to get to that spot. And I think that is what we need to learn and do. You know, we need to stop seeing other people's success and saying, I'm also going to publish 4 books in 2 years.
How
right?
like this? 4 books and all.
You don't have
2
to do
years.
hustle.
Like this, I blinked twice, he had written 4 books. It's correct. Can I read one first?
Can I finish one? So what I tell people is, don't get enamored by hustle culture. Instead, turn it around and say, what are the things that I need to focus on only? And make a list of that. What are the things that only I can uniquely do? Not everybody else's stuff. What is it that only I can do? And that is what you focus on. Because all of us have this quality, right? Like for example, me, I have defined my quality as taking difficult ideas and turning them into something simple to digest. Right? That is the quality that only I can do. Nobody else can do that for me. So what I do is I spend most of my time on that aspect of what I do. Everything else can be outsourced, can be given to others to do. And in that way, you don't necessarily follow your hustle culture. Like for example, now, what have you done? You've realized that these are my 3 main qualities that I need to portray.
Yeah,
that
it
I need
took
to
me
do.
a long time to arrive.
Right? And then you've said, I'm outsourcing everything. I have a manager to do this, I have this person to do that, I have that person to do that. Correct? Whether they're doing it or not, that's
Yeah,
a
that's
separate
another
thing.
discussion.
But the whole thing is that you've shelved it away and you focused on what you're good at.
Yes.
We need to identify what we're good at. And the big problem is when I ask people, what are you good at? You don't have a pat answer because you never spend time thinking about it. So today, go home, think about what is it that I'm uniquely good at and develop it. You know what we do, because we're all idiots, is that we say, I'm good at this, I'm not good at this, let me spend more time on all the stuff I'm not good at. Right? Instead of developing the things that we're good at. So what we do is we double down on the stuff that we're good at and we let go and give it to others to do all the stuff that we're not so good at.
That is excellent advice. Thank you very, very much. Excel?
Making sense?
So ask someone else to, write those files and do everything else. I'm not good at editing a reel, yeah? It's difficult. So you ask an editor to edit your reel. And the more you're able to identify with that, you're just able to then pick on your own growth and then reach that proverbial success in your mind, the way and the pace at which you want to reach. And I like that a lot. Now there's this other thing, like we did speak about being busy. What I love and what we don't talk about enough is boredom. What we don't talk about enough is empty space. And you bring that into the 31 Habits for a Supercharged Life. I've understood spending time with yourself, doing what you really like to do, and not doing, just being in that moment allows me to truly supercharge. So how does one incorporate empty space. What is the definition of empty space?
Lovely. The example I give of empty space is this.
I like.
So imagine I have porcelain as a material, right? And I give you porcelain. It has a certain cost to it, right? There's a certain value to having a lump of porcelain. But as soon as I hollow out the porcelain, as soon as I hollow out the clay and turn it into a bowl, what happens to the value? It dramatically goes up, right? Imagine if I gave you one full bowl just of porcelain where you can't pour anything inside. Would you have value in that? Nothing. What we've done with our life is we've created a bowl full of porcelain where nothing new can come in. We don't have empty space for new things to come into our lives. What we have to do is we have to realize that we are potters. We're making this vase. And what we're doing is we're creating space for something in the future to come in. We never think about this thing. If we don't create space, nothing in the future can come in, right? That is always so busy. You're so full of hustle. So what we have to do is we have to learn how to create this empty space. The way that I typically tell people to do this, you have Google Calendar, right? I was doing this workshop for Google during the lockdown. And basically their HR team, this is for Google Europe and Google Southeast Asia, they came to me and said that, Ashdin, everyone's burning out, what do we do? Okay, we've given them like $1.5 lakh to spend on creating their entire home offices and they're still burning out, what do we do? And I spent time with them and I realized this, that their entire schedule was packed from the time they woke up to the time they went to sleep. Everything was meeting, and now in the digital world, one meeting ends, next meeting starts immediately. Right? We don't even get a chance to go to the coffee counter, pick up something, have a chat with a friend. So what we did was so I asked them, you all have this fantastic thing called Google Calendar? And they all sheepishly said, yeah, he. And I said that what you have to do is you have to schedule time for yourself in that. You block that time out right in the beginning. Nobody else can see what you've written. But you block that time out so that you know nothing else is coming there, and that's how you create that empty space. And what I tell is, take 15 minutes out, take half an hour out, and do what I call do nothing time. Sitting and looking out at the window. Sitting with your cup of chai. You'll suddenly see a bird that you haven't seen in a long time. You'll suddenly have those little moments. And those moments are what actually feed our soul. So I would strongly suggest we all take that little time out for ourselves, feeding our souls with that empty time.
Ash, I know everyone in the audience wants to ask you questions, so I'm going to shut this book. I'm going to ask you one last question, all right? And this is, I think, from my own personal space. You know, now I don't have a reason to like challenge you because everything that you've said has actually worked, right? You're like this soothsayer, habit coach. Wow, I love it. But I'd like to understand when one person is ready to make that change, right? So I go take Ashdin Doctors, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 books, and I read. And I understand everything. I get it. If I do this, action these deeds, I will get there. And then there is this one voice in the head that says, it is so tough. And for any person who said, dar ke aage jeet hai, I think tough ke aage jeet hai. So, how would you tell me, all our readers, friends and family members, who truly feel, from the most innocent part of their heart, that yes, I can do this, but it's tough. How can I move past that?
I love it. How many people feel tough to make a change? So many people. So I'm going to change this word around tough, okay?
Yeah. That's what Ash does!
Just yesterday, somebody was interviewing me for a podcast and they were like, so Ashdin, tell me, what were the challenges you faced when you were writing these books? Yeah. Correct? Now, tough challenges, same. So what are the challenges you faced while writing this book? And I said, listen, I didn't face any challenges. They're just like, huh? I was like, yeah, listen, let's turn this question around a little. There is no such thing as a challenge. There is only a teaching moment. There is no such thing as a challenge. There's only a teaching moment. Whenever you feel that you're being challenged or something is tough, what is it trying to tell you? It's trying to tell you, boss,